Hey everyone, today on People Now, Hillary Clinton goes to see Meghan Markle at Frogmore Cottage. We'll tell you why and what they shared during the visit.
Have Blake Shelton and Miranda Lambert bury the hatchet.
Stars defend Taylor Swift as the battle heats up between T-Swift and Big Machine label over new allegations.
Is Dr. Gray really as good as people say she is?
No. She's better.
Grey's Anatomy celebrates its 350th episode. Dr. Owen Hunt, Kevin McKidd, is here getting us in on the celebration.
You hear that, Danny? Why don't you unblock me on Facebook?
We've got Kat Dennings, Brenda Song, and Esther Povitsky telling us all about their hilarious friendship and the new show Dollface.
It's all today on People Now. Let's go.
Hey, welcome to People Now. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yes.
Made it.
So happy.
Kicking off today's show with one surprising get-together between two high-profile figures. But first, watch this.
Well, as a mother, I just want to put my arms around her and,
I'm sure she'd take a hug.
Oh
from
my
me.
God. I want to hug her. I want to tell her to hang in there. Don't let those bad guys get you down.
Hillary Clinton made a wish to hug Meghan Markle, and now we're learning that that wish actually came true. The Daily Mail reports that Clinton paid a visit to Meghan and Harry's Frogmore Cottage on Tuesday after being secretly invited by the Duchess of Sussex herself. News of their meeting comes a few days after Clinton raved about Meghan on BBC Radio 5 Live. That was while discussing the British tabloids' attacks against her. A source confirms to the outlet that the women shared a hug before spending the afternoon together. They reportedly hit it off, even discussed the letter that Meghan wrote to Clinton when Meghan was 11, demanding to remove a sexist dishwasher soap advertisement. We've talked about that before. The source adds that both women have a lot of admiration for each other and that they are mutual fangirls of each other as well. The source goes on to describe the meeting as very sweet. Meghan and Harry's 7-month-old son Archie also joined the ladies, and Clinton reportedly got some cuddles in with the royal baby while she chatted about her own baby grandson, Jasper. Clinton's been vocal about her support for Meghan amid the media scrutiny that she's been receiving. During her publicity tour for the Book of Gutsy Women, co-authored by her daughter Chelsea Clinton, she told BBC that Meghan should be given a break. She explained, quote, "She's made her own way in the world, then she falls in love, and he falls in love with her, and everybody should be celebrating that because it is a true love story. You can just look at them and see that." Clinton added, "You know it's not easy, and there are some techniques that can be learned along the way, some humor, some deflection, whatever," which I'm sure she will come to. But it is tough what she's going through, and I think she deserves a lot better. That was Clinton's comment. And Clinton, who knows better than most what it's like to have every aspect of your personal life scrutinized by the public, says she believes the criticism has been driven by a combination of sexism and racism, calling Meghan's treatment heartbreaking and wrong. All right, here's something you did not see at the CMA Awards on Wednesday night. People was on the ground in Nashville and noticed that Blake Shelton and his girlfriend Gwen Stefani were bobbing their heads in time with Blake's ex-wife Miranda Lambert as she performed her newest single, It All Comes Out in the Wash. They even followed her performance with what could be described as something more than polite applause. Miranda and her husband, Brendan McLaughlin, seated one section over on the front row, later returned the gesture when Blake took the stage to sing God's Country. Does it get any more bygones than this? They're bobbing their heads. They're giving more than polite applause. Miranda and Blake got divorced over 4 years ago. Maybe they have moved on. Then again, let's not get carried away. Blake and Gwen did not join the rest of the crowd to give Miranda a standing ovation. Miranda and Brendan did not join in for Blake's standing ovation. What does it all mean? Does it mean anything?
I don't know. It's easy to stand up, though, if everyone else is, so maybe it
But they did do the bobs and the...
Yeah, we'll take the bobs.
They're all good. Here are even more behind-the-scenes details. Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman, Casey Musgraves, Gigi Hadid, they were giving us all the girl power in the front row. They reportedly spent commercial breaks chatting it up as well. Willa Gray Akins, the oldest daughter of Thomas Rhett and his wife Lauren, came to her first CMAs wearing a gold dress. Most of the time, she was either on her mom's lap or being held, but was on her best behavior the whole time. And during her dad's performance of Remember You Young, she even waved a cell phone flashlight with the rest of the crowd. So getting in on the action there. And then there was Jameson Hart, Pink and Carrie Hart's nearly 3-year-old son. He was a little rambunctious during the show. A lot of energy. His appearance on the front row was relatively brief, maybe to the relief of Dierks Bentley and his wife Cassie. We don't know. They were seated right next to him, but who could blame him? Look, he's a toddler at an exciting show. Of course they're running. My kids would be everywhere.
Yeah.
All right, Teresa Giudice believes that LoriLoughlin will make it through if she is sent to prison for her alleged involvement in the college admissions scandal. Teresa has had her own legal troubles and spent 11 months of a 15-month sentence behind bars after a judge found her and her husband Joe guilty of bank, mail, wire, and bankruptcy fraud. Now, Teresa is now telling Entertainment Tonight, quote, I feel women are strong. We have babies, we do it all. Whatever outcome it is, I'm sure that she'll be fine with it. Lori and her husband Massimo Giannulli are accused of paying $500,000 to an admissions consultant to falsely recruit their 2 daughters to the USC crew team, though neither of them actually participated in the sport. Last month, the couple were given an additional federal charge of 1 count each of conspiracy to commit federal programs bribery. They now face up to 45 years in prison each. As the case against them moves forward, a source tells People they're trying to think about other things, explaining, quote, "It's very hard for Lori not to obsess about this case and what her future will be. She knows that she should focus on all the good things in her life, but it's almost impossible for her to do it. This is hanging over her head every single day." Another source close to Loughlin and Giannulli tells People that they have been feeling discouraged and concerned after a recent sentence was handed down to a California father who had similar charges against him. Real estate executive Toby McFarlane was sentenced to 6 months in prison for his involvement in the scandal. The source says that Loughlin and Giannulli are smart enough to see that the cases are similar and adds, quote, "If this guy pleaded guilty and was still given 6 months, what does that mean for them? If they're convicted, their sentences are going to be very severe." That was their quote. Meanwhile, actress Felicity Huffman, she's currently serving 250 hours of community service after she pleaded guilty for her involvement in that scandal. Huffman previously served 11 days of her 14-day prison sentence in October. So we'll keep you posted on that story. Andrea, more for us in Star Trek.
Yes, we are kicking off Star Trek today with a surprise for our sexiest man alive. John Legend was in for quite the scare when he guest hosted the Ellen DeGeneres show in an episode airing Friday. And what makes the scare even better? It was his wife, Chrissy Teigen, that managed to pull it off. John had just gotten done showing the audience an Ellen-fied clip of his music video for All of Me when it all went down. Take a look.
Don't tell Chrissy, guys. She'll be very, very, very jealous of Ellen. Hello! Hello!
Hardest thing I've ever done. I didn't mean to swear. I'm so sorry. Should we do it again?
You didn't tell me you were going to be here.
No. Honestly, I'm so exhausted.
How long were you stuck under there?
A long time.
Oh my God.
You were taking a
Ladies and gentlemen, Chrissy Teigen.
Okay, some people think John knew, but I think this was an actual surprise.
I think he knew.
Jeremy.
Sorry.
Why can't we just have fun and believe
No,
it?
it's very fun.
Anyway, it's really funny. After the scare, Chrissy joined John as his first guest, where she was in awe that John didn't hear her banging around in the box, going on to say that he is unaware of what's going on around him. John then says, quote, "If you wanted to cheat on me, you could probably get away with it," to which she fires back, "Oh no, I have 1,000,000 times." And then John hilariously says, "But I'm the sexiest man alive." We have a feeling he'll be using that one for a while. Kanye West never stops thinking about his wife, Kim Kardashian West. Just ask Sir Paul McCartney. The Beatles legend spoke about meeting with the rapper back in 2014 to produce their collaboration, Only One, and now Kanye just couldn't stop looking at photos of his wife. Very sweet. McCartney tells Billboard they met on neutral ground, a cottage at the Beverly Hills Hotel. He adds, quote, "I was sitting around strumming the guitar. That's normally how I start a song. And Kanye was looking at his iPad, basically scrolling through images of Kim." I'm just imagining all of this. McCartney also said the pair swapped stories with each other before going on to collaborate on the tracks Only One, All Day, and 4 or 5 Seconds. McCartney says, quote, "At one point, I told him how Let It Be came from a dream about my mother who had died years before. And Kanye said, I'm gonna write a song about my mother." McCartney started playing some chords and singing, and that song became Only One. Now, this isn't the first time McCartney has spoken about collaborating with Kanye. In 2016, he told Rolling Stone that Kanye's style reminded him of Andy Warhol, and how at the time, he didn't know how he was going to fit into all that. McCartney also told Rolling Stone, quote, "The only deal I made with Kanye was that if it doesn't work, we won't tell anyone." During that interview, McCartney refrained from calling the rapper a genius, saying, "I don't throw that word around. I think he's a great artist." All right, Will Arnett and Will Forte are hilarious in their many, many roles, but for Movember, the annual tradition which encourages men to grow facial hair in order to raise awareness for men's mental and physical health, we captured their biggest transformations yet. It's amazing how a little facial hair goes a long way. Take a look. November is Movember, and in honor of Movember, 5 funny men recreated some of the sexiest, most iconic mustaches in history exclusively for People. Where there's a will, there's a way, and we've got 2 of them. Will Forte, and Will Arnett.
Hi, I'm Will Arnett, and I'm Magnum PI.
And Forte portraying the bandit himself, the iconic Burt Reynolds. The SNL alum says his mom's the one who immediately saw the similarities.
And I said, "You're crazy, Mom. I look nothing like Burt Reynolds." And then 2 days later, People magazine calls and says, "Hey, do you want to recreate this picture of Burt Reynolds?"
For Arnett, Movember hits close to home.
Men's health care is important. Take the steps that you need to take in order to preventatively whatever you can do.
I love it. Are you doing a little Movember, Jay?
Yeah, well, always have it. So yes, now it's a trend for the month.
All right, those are your Star Tracks for today.
All right, everyone, stay with us. Grey's Anatomy just achieved a big milestone, and Dr. Owen Hunt himself, Kevin McKidd, he will be here live to help us celebrate. Plus, we're doing a deep dive on the latest Taylor Swift Scooter Braun drama, including the celebs coming to T Swift's defense. Stick around for that. All right, the biggest news of the week was Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's announcement that they won't be spending Christmas with the Queen and the rest of the royal family in Sandringham. Here to give us all the details about that and everything Royals, People's senior news editor Erin Hill and our royal correspondent Imogen Lloyd-Webber. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Erin, elaborate more and tell us why this is happening or isn't happening.
Yeah, so this will be their first non-royal Christmas as a couple. They spent the last two in Sandringham, and they made the decision to now spend it a little more privately as a family. They, of course, just had Archie. It's Archie's first Christmas, and Meghan's going to want to spend it with her mother after not being able to spend the holidays with her for the past couple of years. And, you know, the Queen is on board with this. She signed off on this, of course, and it's something that's been done before. Kate spent a couple Christmases at least with the Middletons and not with the royals. So, you know, it's like families all over the world. You have to split the holidays.
Hopefully they'll find an opportunity to sort of regroup as a family and kind of refresh during that time. Let's talk about this though, Imogen. Prince William once again following in his late mother, Princess Diana's footsteps. Tell us about his most recent campaign.
Yeah, so he headed to a new centre, the 7-bedroom apprenticeship house, which helps young people lead independent lives after homelessness. The visit helped mark the 50th anniversary of Centrepoint, just as his mum was. William became patron, and that was back in 2005. He later went on to Centrepoint's 50th anniversary gala and changed from his dress-down look into that green velvet suit jacket. So green seems to be the colour of the moment for him. He was wearing green, wasn't he, on his tour.
Great look, too.
Yeah.
Right, I like that. Today was a big day for Kate. Erin, tell us about that.
Yeah, so she had a solo engagement for each, which is one of her very first patronages she got when she first became a royal. And she's been campaigning for the past 5 years, actually, for funding for a new children's hospice center. And today they opened it up. It's called the Nook, just a state-of-the-art facility, really keeping in mind making things as comfortable as possible for families and kids. And so she was there as a mom herself, just really comforting a lot of these families, meeting with them, and touring the facility.
Yeah, really important stuff to them. And earlier this year, Prince William and Kate launched a special crisis text line service. Tuesday was the 6-month anniversary of that launch. Imogen, how did Prince William and Kate celebrate that?
Yeah, so they went and did that incredible visit there. It's a service that offers free and confidential mental health support via text, and they were there honouring those staffing the service. William plans to train and become a crisis counsellor.
Really?
And it's totally anonymous, so he could be the guy you text at the end of the phone and you'll never know.
Wow, how
interesting. Very cool. Now, interestingly, around 600 conversations take place through the service each day, and 3/4 of those who contact Shout are under 25. The most frequent subject raised is suicide. That's 37%.
Wow.
So extraordinary work they're doing there.
Yeah, and obviously a really important, kind of a crucial service that they're providing and championing there. Prince Charles was away this week, and ahead of his travels, he ended up posting his first Instagram. There it is. Tell us about that, where he went, and, you know, Instagram official, look out.
Very long.
Yeah, it is a very long first message. Coming on the week of his 71st birthday. So he shares the Clarence House Instagram with his wife, Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, and usually the Clarence House will post on behalf of them. But this is the first time we've gotten a direct message from him, and it was in the lead up to his current royal tour in India, and he was really just giving a shout out to the Sikh community who they're celebrating the 550th anniversary of the birth of their founder this week. So he was just kind of extending his best wishes and saying how much that community is valued in the UK, and how he was excited to go to India this week, and he signed it HRH, the Prince of Wales.
All right, and Charles Thursday celebrated his 71st birthday.
Absolutely.
Some of the well wishes that came in, Imogen, talk to us about that.
Royals are just like that, us. They post Instagram posts. So that's Charles with Prince Andrew, so that was that tribute there. And there was a new shot of Archie from the christening on @Sussex Royal. And there you've got the Kensington Royal account with William and Kate paying tribute And the official royal family photo was of
Oh, I
Prince
love that
Charles
one.
and
Look at that.
That was new. We hadn't seen that one before. So that's the official royal family shot there.
Happy 71st birthday. So yeah, we can visit those Instagram accounts. Be sure to check that out. Scroll through those old pictures. The Crown, season 3,
So
premiering this
excited.
weekend.
I know what I'm doing this
What can
weekend.
we expect? What are you pumped for?
It's Olivia Colman.
Of course, yeah, we can't wait.
But most importantly, Helena Bonham Carter
that's gonna
as
be
Princess
best.
Margaret. And they have done, I was obsessed with this. I posted it on Instagram the other day and I had more likes for this than anything else I've ever posted. Princess Margaret in the bath with her tiara on,
right.
and they've recreated the shot. I'm like, yes.
Okay, so they got it
Gonna be
right.
exciting.
So that's the weekend plans.
Yeah.
Full
Yeah,
binge.
totally.
All right, I'm very excited about this image and some news about your dad, Andrew Lloyd Webber, and Taylor Swift.
Their single came out last night.
Yes.
Beautiful Ghosts is now live, and it says a lot about everybody around Taylor and everybody around Dad. The news didn't leak, like we knew about this last year.
Right.
The track didn't leak before it was supposed to, and I'm just relieved we can talk about it now.
We can talk about it. Look, I'm very pumped for this. Of course, we're talking about Cats, the movie.
Yeah.
What did you think of the song when you first heard it?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
And you're hearing Taylor Swift's voice in a way that you don't normally. So it's very much a collaboration between her and Dad, and I know he had the best time working with her.
Very good. Thank you so much, ladies. It's great to talk to
Of
you.
course, good to see you.
Celebrities are showing their support for Taylor Swift after the singer took another stand against Scooter Braun and Big Machine label co-founder Scott Borchetta.
On Thursday, Taylor released a scathing Tumblr post that accuses the manager and her former label head of blocking her from performing her old hits at the American Music Awards later this month. Now, Taylor also alleges that Scooter and Scott have declined the use of her older music or performance footage for a documentary that she revealed that she's been working on with Netflix.
After her post, many of Taylor's famous friends defended her on social media. Gigi Hadid tweeted, "Scott and Scooter, you know what the right thing to do is. Taylor and her fans deserve to celebrate the music."
Ruby Rose chimed in on her Instagram story saying this is not okay, followed by reposting Taylor's initial Tumblr message.
Lily Allen spoke out on Twitter saying, "Solidarity with Taylor here. This sounds awful, and people wonder why music hasn't had its #MeToo moment."
Justin Bieber, who's a longtime friend of Scooter Braun, his manager, also posted a cryptic message on his Instagram story on Thursday night, though it's unclear if he was referring to Taylor's new accusations. The post reads, "I'm having a rough day. Thought I'd share, remind you, you're not alone. Keep pushing." I don't think he's commenting on it, personally.
Yeah, he might not be.
Yeah.
People read into it. According to Taylor, Scott tried to negotiate an offer to let her perform and use her music if she agreed not to re-record copycat versions of her old songs and to stop talking about him and Scooter Braun.
On Friday, Big Machine label released a lengthy statement that denied Taylor's allegations and accused her of false information. The statement reads in part, quote, "As Taylor Swift's partner for over a decade, we were shocked to see her Tumblr statements yesterday based on false information. At no point did we say Taylor could not perform on the AMAs or block her Netflix special. In fact, we do not have the right to keep her from performing live anywhere. Since Taylor's decision to leave Big Machine last fall, we have continued to honor all of her requests to license her catalog to third parties as she promotes her current record in which we do not financially participate."
Yeah.
That was their statement.
The statement continues, claiming Big Machine has worked diligently to have a conversation about these matters with Taylor and her team to productively move forward, concluding with, quote, "All we ask is to have a direct and honest conversation. When that happens, you will see there is nothing but respect, kindness, and support waiting for you on the other side. To date, not one of the invitations to speak with us and work through this has been accepted."
Wow, a lot of drama here. We'll see how it plays out. In late June, Taylor slammed Scooter upon learning that his Ithaca Holdings had acquired her former record label from Scott Borchetta, essentially taking ownership of her masters. She accused Scooter of manipulative bullying.
Scott Borchetta then defended Scooter Braun in a letter posted to his label's website, writing, "As to her comments about being in tears or close to it, anytime my new partner Scooter Braun's name was brought up, I certainly never experienced that."
Is Dr. Gray really as good as people say she is?
No. She's better. The Catherine Fox Award that she won was for a surgery that saved my sister's life. Now, Meghan could have been here today. She'd be showing you her transplanted abdomen herself.
So you've come around.
I'm sorry?
Exhibit C2. These are Dr. Bailey's surgical notes after Dr. Gray botched your sister's first surgery. Hunt has concerns that Dr. Gray could not close patient's abdomen the first time. If she fails again, patient has no other options. The Hunt in this note is you, correct?
Grey's Anatomy is already the longest-running primetime medical drama in history, and on Thursday night, the show celebrated another milestone, its 350th episode.
Wow, and here to celebrate with us is Dr. Owen Hunt himself, Kevin McKidd. Welcome.
Good to see you. Congrats.
How do you get to watch the show? Did you get to see it last night?
I was doing interviews all day yesterday, and then I went to see a play. But I've seen the episode, and it's an amazing episode.
Yeah.
We're really proud of Ellen, especially, and everybody who wrote it, Meg who wrote it and Debbie Allen who directed it.
Yeah, so all the fans out there, this is your spoiler alert. If you didn't see it, don't get mad at us. We're going to talk about it right now.
Yeah.
It was a big episode,
Yeah.
right? So Meredith finally found out she'll get to keep her medical license.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. At the end, Bailey invites her back to Grace Sloan. She accepts. Does this mean we could see Owen, Richard, and Alex coming back?
I can't say that, It's been a very, what I love about the way they write the show is that they change it all the time. And we don't know if these guys are going to get asked back. Ellen Meredith is back, but who knows if Pac North continues or whether we go back. I think at some point they'll be back, but I think it's been fun to see them have to work somewhere else, in a much more down at heel
Do you
hospital.
actually not know, or are you just?
I do know. I do know. I totally know. But I'm not allowed to say.
This man's an actor, it turns out, and he can convince people of complete falsehoods. Back in February, we had Chandra Wilson here. She talked about sort of the pressures of directing the episode that made Grey's the longest-running primetime medical drama at the time. Now, as you mentioned, Debbie Allen directed this one. The entire cast back together at Meredith's hearing. What was that like, I guess, filming that? Did it feel like it was a really special moment as it was happening?
It did. Those scenes in that conference room where, especially that amazing scene where Meredith comes up and confronts this doctor about Derek Shepherd's death, was so powerful, and it felt like a real culmination of her character, and her grief. And then all the doctors kind of showing up with all these witnesses of how amazing Meredith has been over these years. It was just really moving. It felt like a real culmination of the whole show.
So much TV history in one room.
Big.
Right? I mean, it really is. It's hard to overstate it. It's incredible.
It's incredible that we've been on the air for 16 years and this show still feels relevant and fresh.
Yeah.
Speaking of Debbie, though, we did a deep dive on your Instagram. You two seem pretty close.
We are,
Yeah, she's always smiling, having a good time.
Debbie's like a legend. I mean, Debbie Allen, when I was in Scotland as a little boy in the 80s, I watched Fame, I watched her. I probably had one of my first crushes on her, and now I'm working alongside her, and she helps me direct the show, and she's our executive producer. It's amazing to be friends with Debbie Allen. She's like Hollywood royalty, and we're very blessed to have her guidance.
What was the last fun interaction or time you had with her?
I spoke to her on the phone yesterday because I was here doing press. There was this show, the episode that I directed airs next week, and there was one shot that we need of Bailey. And so I'm on the phone to her, and she's directing it for me, and I'm kind of FaceTiming in with her to direct this shot. And we were just laughing, and we just told each other we loved each other.
You guys ever?
We have each other's back,
Yeah. Do you ever? Have you ever swapped stories about her time on Fame and the era when you were a kid, fanning out over her?
Yeah. I mean, her stories are legendary. She started off as the actor and the choreographer. She ended up directing that show, because all the directors were like, we don't understand all this dance stuff. And Debbie was choreographing all these young kids, and she became like the executive producer.
She got it and knew how to do it. Yeah,
so she has all the stories.
Let's talk about this. The cast and crew got together to celebrate the episode a few weeks ago. Shonda Rhimes, gave a big speech while she was there.
She did.
We're dying to know if you have any insight on Shonda's projects at Netflix, because everyone's talking about it, wondering what's coming up, and if we're going to see you in any, perhaps.
I don't know. I know she did something in the UK, which it's like a period drama, I believe. I don't know the title, but I'm excited to see that, because I'm partly because a friend of mine, Polly Walker was one of the main cast of Rome, the HBO show I did.
Right.
And Polly is now in that show. And Shonda asked me, what's Polly like while she was casting her? So I'm excited to see Polly Walker in that show. Beyond that, I don't know what else she's up to. I've not seen her. We've been so busy making our show that we hardly get let. This is like one of the first days I've been let out of the studio.
Okay.
I feel like it's a prison break.
Yeah.
So, but I'm excited to see her. She's so talented. She's such a visionary. So whatever she does next is going to be amazing. I'm excited to see it.
And a lot of fun news in your world. Your co-star Caterina, who plays Amelia, had a pretty big announcement a couple weeks ago. She's expecting. Her exact words, our family's about to get even kookier. So she's a mama too. She's been really open about her family's journey with Down syndrome. What's your takeaway, watching her grow as a parent?
She's an amazing parent, and she's, like this Addams Family thing, this photo they do each year of their Halloween costumes together. There's so much love in their family. It really is. I mean, I have young kids now, and just to see the way she balances work, because we work really, really long hours, and she's such a hands-on mother. and this is her third baby coming. We're all so excited at Grey's. You know, there's been so many babies be conceived and come into the world during our show. So she's a very inspiring parent, and you know, she's a deeply caring woman. She's one of my best friends. So I'm so happy for her and Rob.
You mentioned your young kids. You got the 1-year-old son and a baby girl born in July,
Yeah.
right? Congratulations.
Congrats.
Year and a half or so. I mean, sorry, like how many months
Aiden's
now?
19 months.
19 months.
I believe, and Nava is about 3 months.
Okay, so
I've got my hands full too.
You are in it, for sure. What's one thing that maybe, you know, the younger kids have done recently or discovered recently that's kind of blown your mind? Or
You know, they're just watching Aiden just figure out how to. I mean, he can run now. He can run and he can basically swim underwater now, which is pretty incredible to see.
That is actually really incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And you know, he knows he's got certain words now, like hungry. You know, he's hungry. He actually started saying "I love you, I love you."
Oh, super cute.
He's learned how to say "I love you," which is a pretty key thing for human beings developmentally. I think we all need to learn how to say the words "I love you."
Yeah.
Because we don't say it enough.
Yeah.
I know
that's the truth.
You've brought your oldest daughter to the Grey set before. I mean, being on this hugely successful show, does it get you cool dad points?
It does.
It
My
does.
daughter, funnily enough, my daughter just started watching the show because when she was younger, she didn't like seeing me make out with other women. You know, she was like, oh, that's weird. So she avoided watching it. But now she's doing that thing that a lot of teenagers are doing now. She's binge watching the show online, and she's obsessed. She's in season 7 right now. And she's like, I hate your couch right now because he's being mean to Christina. So her and all her friends are kind of watching it now, even though they're still in those early seasons. So it's really fun.
Oh yeah, cool dad alert for sure.
Well,
I get some cred.
And kind of weird though, probably like that dad's known as like TV heartthrob. It's like, okay, please.
It's a little weird. yeah. My daughter doesn't like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Before you go, got to ask about that promo for next week's finale, which you directed.
I did.
Congratulations. That seems like it'd be a fun thing, or stressful.
It's really, you know, it used to be stressful. Now I just love it. It's such a creative medium to work in. The mid-season finale is going to be so powerful. There's a lot of amazing cliffhangers.
Yeah, we're promised a cliffhanger there, right?
Oh yeah. There's not just one cliffhanger. There's quite a few.
Okay.
There's a lot of ledges, and
what hope can you give us, or fans, like in terms of we can't just be left hanging?
You will be left hanging, but in such a great way that it'll keep you talking until we come back in January.
Okay.
So it's a pretty explosive episode, I will say.
All right, Kevin, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Really good to see you. And guys, catch new episodes of Grey's Anatomy Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC, starting with the fall finale next week, directed by this guy. Check it out.
This is crazy. I didn't realize you all knew each other.
What do you mean? We just met.
Oh. Well, the event looks great, guys.
Right? I'm obsessed with the planner we hired for this decor. I want her to do my wedding when Anthony from Queer Eye finally realizes he needs to be straight for me.
All 10 episodes of Hulu's Dollface Season 1 dropped today. Kat Dennings stars as Jules, a woman who breaks up with her boyfriend of 5 years and tries to reconnect with the friendships that she neglected during that time.
So I sat down with Kat and her castmates, Brenda Song and Esther Povitsky, to talk all about the show, including Kat's ex, who used to call her Dollface, kind of inspired the title. Has he seen the show yet? I asked. Watch. Has the ex seen the episodes or aware of this whole thing?
Oh my God, this lovely man, we are completely on good terms.
Back together, okay, it's great.
No. We're on great terms, like friends, it's all good. He has children and is very happy and everything's great. But I did check with him because I wanted to make sure that was okay with him.
Okay, that's really nice of you.
Yeah, and he was all about it, he loved it. So I had his blessing before I did that.
It does seem like it's good to be on good terms with your ex if you can, right? That seems like a...
It depends on what...
Most of my friends are on good terms, like, with
It's the more evolved way to do it.
It is, isn't it?
I'm adult, very
You hear that, Danny? Why don't you unblock me on Facebook? I'm your wife, too. I can look at those photos. I deserve that.
Shay Mitchell, obviously on the show. I've heard her say that maybe compared to all of you that she's, or maybe you guys have said, that she's the most really like her character.
I actually think we're all of us.
Are you all in some ways?
We are.
She definitely is.
Yes.
Yeah.
In what way?
She is.
She's the most free spirit. Like,
Okay.
she's the one that's the most willing to do whatever, and she also knows everyone, like how Stella knows everyone. Shay knows everyone and knows all the cool places, and knows the places that aren't that no one knows about yet, but everyone will be there in 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Shay Mitchell.
She truly got on a private jet to go to Coachella.
She really did.
shooting.
No.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like
twice.
Yeah. Literally for like a day.
Where
and came
are
back.
you? She goes, I'm just.
I was just on a helicopter to Coachella real quick.
Wow,
Yeah.
just there and back, just kind of
There
did
and
it.
There and back.
So it's that kind of life. So in which ways are you most like your character?
Well, I mean, while she was at Coachella, I barely went to the grocery store. So
No. I will tell you how Brenda is like her character. She keeps everything is clean, everything is perfect. Like she's just so.
I'm meticulous
perfect.
like oh no, I'm not. But I'm meticulous like Madison.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do think in a way we are our characters in our friendship group.
Yeah.
Like I like to use this example. Like if we were to like plan a lunch, I would be the person to start the group text and get everyone on there. Be like,
You were a
hey,
good planner.
I'm like, I'll plan it. Shay will be like, let me tell you where to go. We have this is the best place. Kat will be like, is it close to my house? Esther will be like, wait, I have food restrictions. Are there vegan options? That is our friend
That's a
group.
perfect
and
analogy.
that is, I think,
Yeah.
the dollface friend group. That is, yeah.
I have nothing to add. So it's
Well,
correct.
let's talk about this. The show kind of kicks off your character, breaking up this relationship where essentially she's cut off all her friends and her whole world, right? It encompassed her fully. Have you experienced this in real life? Have you been in those relationships?
I have. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody has to some degree, but I really did, and that is what kind of drew me to the role because I was like, ugh, I really never want to ever deal with this again. But it's kind of an unseen journey. We all do it, and I've never really seen it portrayed. So I went back to this terrible, sad island.
Was this the dollface guy?
What?
Okay, it was someone.
But listen, when you're in love,
You do it
Yeah.
subconsciously.
I mean, I was just in love and just like nothing else mattered. And I orbited around this person. And that's on me. That's.
But when you're in it, you're feeling it and you don't know.
Right.
You don't know.
And then you wake up, you're like, oh my God, who am I? What happened? Hello.
Where did the last 5 years go? I think we've all been there. I mean, I've been on the other side as well, because I've definitely been in Jules' place where I've definitely like disappeared without knowing it. You just don't think about it. And the great thing is I had a great group of girlfriends who were like, yeah, cool, no, we'll be here. And they were. And I think that's what's really great. And that's what's so fun about this show is that at the end of the day, this show is not about like our dating lives with guys. It's about our like relationships with each other through those ups and downs. Because I feel like that's something that's so important and so important to be portrayed on TV, especially now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like that to me is the most relatable concept I've ever heard of in a show of like where you lose all your friends because you just got like all we want is love. So the second some guy's like, I love you, I'm like, I'm like, goodbye everyone else for 1 year. And then after a year, I'm like, I love you 1 year. You haven't
1 year. Like you can live without these people for a year.
Yeah.
See how this goes.
Yeah. But now I'm in a relationship with someone that won't allow me to monopolize him, so I
and look at that, you did it.
I know, you did it.
Like a real deal.
Yeah, she's like, did it.
Was it full surprise or did you know it was coming?
I orchestrated it, my friend.
Wait, really?
Of course it was an ultimatum. Come on, it's 2019. Guys don't settle down.
Wait, how long was it, the lead up?
I can't even.
Okay.
It's like 6 years.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's time.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Dave.
And so then, okay,
Sorry.
Dave's in the game.
So mad.
Dave's on the hook. We love Dave.
They have such a fun vibe
They
together.
really do.
Now, Margot Robbie is an executive producer on Dollface, as is Kat Dennings. So we wanted to know what it was like for them to work together.
It was a joy. She's who brought the script to me, which is a surreal turn of events for me. If Margot Robbie gives you a script, you just say,
yes.
yep, I'll do it. Yeah, she's got exquisite taste, an amazing production company, and female-driven projects, and she's a just true boss genius, and I love her.
What were you most surprised to learn about her?
She's just so down to earth. She's so chill. Like, I mean, she's just, here's a cute thing about Margot Robbie. You may not know.
Ooh.
She has a little schedule she writes in with a pen.
Oh, that's what I do.
Oh, like a schedule book.
I have a moleskin that I
Like a
still write.
planner. Like a daily planner.
I saw her do that. I immediately bought a planner.
Yeah.
You're like, screw this phone and this digital thing that tells me what to do.
I'm going to get a quill and write all of my
on parchment.
This is what successful people do. They write on paper.
Yeah.
I will say from what I've seen of her is she's very hands-on with the show in a way that is very shocking for a full-fledged A-list movie star. I'm like, what are you doing? Like she's
just also filming while she's producing this.
Filmed like 7 things.
Yeah, like when I met her, she's like, oh my gosh, like I'm sorry I feel so familiar with you. Like, I've been watching your face on dailies. I'm like, you're watching dailies of our show? Like,
incredible.
how do you have the time?
You mentioned Shay and the baby and everything going on. Have you met Baby Atlas?
No, not yet.
But we are her aunts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're all the godmothers.
Yeah, we were forcing
Shay
it upon
doesn't
her.
know
She doesn't
that.
know
Okay.
that yet.
I heard that she found out, or that she told you guys about a month before she announced that she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And then she had said that like you guys were probably just being nice and not acknowledging the
No.
obvious. Did you know before she told you?
I did.
We talked about it a little.
It's like a secret.
I
like,
didn't.
hey,
Yeah.
she's
Well,
obviously.
but it's such a personal thing,
know.
But it's like, you know, it's such a personal thing. Like, I was like, when she's ready to tell us, she will, because it's her own.
course.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I had no idea. What is wrong with me?
I don't know.
I was like, pregnant Shay is like my goal body.
It wasn't even her body. Can I tell you how I knew?
Yeah.
Who doesn't drink coffee?
Oh, that was good. I remember
interesting.
asking her if she drank coffee.
Because a lot of times it would be
That was
like,
all my
oh,
thing.
you're not drinking alcohol, but in this case,
I was like, who in Los Angeles does not drink coffee? That's my first thing. I was like,
like something.
you have to drink coffee.
See, that's what I was like, wow, she's just really like being a healthy, like great, good for her.
Here's the thing. I was like, she'll like eat like 2 pizzas because she's awesome, but she won't have coffee. I was like,
Something's up. Do you remember the moment that she told you and how that went down?
She took me aside because she was like, here's the deal. Soon I will look pregnant.
Yeah. And we got to deal with this in the filming of the show.
And my immediate first thing was just a thrill for her. I was so excited. I didn't even go there. I was just like, who cares? You just carry a box, whatever. Like, fine.
Stella just carries the box
carry
for
a
her.
lot of things. I was just so excited for her. And yeah, everyone, I mean,
it was great.
For 6 seasons, Kat Dennings starred alongside Beth Bears on the CBS sitcom Two Broke Girls. The show was canceled in 2017, never had a proper ending. So for all the fans out there, is there any possibility that we will see more Two Broke Girls?
Oh my God, I would.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone has ever broached
Broach that topic?
to me. I would. I think it'd be fun, like a reunion. So we kind of ended on a cliffhanger, which was frustrating for some people.
Yeah.
And especially me. I want to know what my wedding looked like.
Well, we had heard that maybe there was a season 7, maybe Cher was going to play your mom or something.
That was like the dream thing that they were all talking about. I don't think Cher knows about this.
Cher
like
had
a
no
mood
idea.
board, somebody printed out Cher. They're like, wow, that would be so great, wouldn't it? I'm like, yeah, that'd be great.
Let's put that in the
Canceled.
universe.
Maybe like a reunion one day, maybe. Who knows?
All right.
I'd love to.
Any possibility of like Beth Bears appearing?
Oh,
Would that be-
I feel like she's busy, but who knows? You have to be careful with that kind of like winky stuff.
Okay, right.
But
Because you don't want to ruin it.
There's a time of the right. We don't want to ruin it. But
Okay.
there's a time and a place. Sure.
Yeah.
It's great.
Final thing. Michael Patrick King.
Yes.
We got a lot of Sex and the City fans around here.
Oh, yeah.
And all these ideas of Sex and the City 3. Did you ever just have one-on-one moments where it's like, ooh, what was that going to look like?
The only thing I've ever asked Michael about Sex and the City was whether I was, you know how, because everyone's like, I'm a Carrie.
I'm Samantha.
I was like, Michael, what am I? And he looked at me and was like, you're none of them.
Oh.
You're the jewels.
Were you happy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would you want to be?
100%. I'm sorry. I'm a Miranda.
Excuse me.
Excuse
Obviously,
me,
right?
I'm a Miranda.
Make it happen, make it happen.
Yeah, for more from the cast, make sure to watch Dollface. All 10 episodes of season 1 are streaming now on Hulu.
Without your arms around me, without you on my skin.
Really digging this song. James Blunt has a new album out called Once Upon a Mind, and you're seeing a bit of the music video for the album's first single, Cold, right there.
So you probably still have his 2005 smash hit, You're Beautiful, stuck in your head.
You're beautiful.
That one. But he's not only the master of catchy tunes, he's a record producer and a former British Army officer.
You've lived a life, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, as a smaller man, I've had to try and impress people with a lot of different things. Like maybe an army uniform or a big motorbike, anything.
Okay.
A guitar, see if it would work.
Well, you're very impressive. You've done
Great
it.
job.
Before we start talking about the new album, we're approaching the 15-year anniversary of You're Beautiful, which is hard for me to believe that when we were reading through researching.
Yeah.
Is it hard for you to believe it's been that long?
Yeah, I mean, time has flown, but it's been amazing.
Yeah.
And it's been a blast. I'm just about to start my 6th world tour off the back of that. In many ways, it's the cornerstone of a career. here. Otherwise, I'd just be doing a tour of North London. So, so yeah, it's amazing.
How does it feel to be connected to a song that is still so relevant, still stuck in so many people's heads?
I mean, I think it's such a pleasure, really. As I say, otherwise I would be struggling around, and it's just given me massive opportunities. Yeah, and people have been very sweet with it.
And we were looking at your Instagram. What's your Instagram bio?
Or the caption.
Yeah, what do I say? I think proof that one song is all you need.
Which I thought was so funny.
Yeah.
It is exactly. It's perfect. Luckily, I mean, obviously, you're a very talented musician. You've done much since then. But before we move on from it, was there a moment with the release of that song, or maybe even producing it, whatever, where you realized, oh, this is the one?
Yeah, definitely. We kind of knew that we'd get to that song and it would be my best shot at it. And when it happened and it went really big, it was definitely bigger than I expected, and kind of frightening too, because the world changes.
Right.
And you know, and it hasn't been without its difficulties. I had amazing tours and amazing experience. But then I was suddenly really aware of the audience and that criticism that you might get and that critique that you go through when they dissect your songs. And so in many ways, I haven't written in quite such an open way anymore. I've always held a little bit back. That's the downside, which for me is why it's exciting to be back in the music and doing it in the way that I did my first album now.
Yeah, and you're putting out some beautiful music right now. When you look back at that time to now, what's the biggest difference in you as a performer or artist?
Well, I think my first songs from Back to Bedlam were very much about me as this guy who just left the army, working out my place in the world, and now this album is very much about the people in my life who I leave behind when I go on tour. So that, you know, it's my dad's not very well, and that's some of the songs about him. But at the same time, I have a little family, and so I really see the circle of life playing out in front of me. And I don't have much time with them because I hit the road for about 18 months at a time, leave my wife to pick up the pieces. And so, that's, you know, lots to write about.
Yeah, and that's definitely a lot involved in a tour. You were mentioning you've done those world tours several times. As you look back on that and the times that you've had those great experiences, is there a wild or crazy kind of moment that really sticks out to you?
Well, I think what goes on tour stays on tour.
Is that right? Is that the rule?
I've had, yeah, I mean, you know, ridiculous moments, obviously, because my music is so rock and roll, as you know. I've taken a stage dive a lot.
Okay, right.
Which
seems like your
which
style.
hasn't always gone well. My first time, I just ran and jumped, and my audience just parted like Moses on the Red Sea, and I hit the deck. And another one, I broke my finger actually crowd surfing. Which when I hit the piano, when I got back to the piano, I just missed the right note.
And you realised then, like,
my guitar technician, I said, I think I broke my finger, and he said, well, in a Scottish accent, you got 9 others. In Chicago, a security guard knocked me down. As I jumped off the stage, he just didn't recognise me, knocked me down, and wouldn't let me go.
It's like
pinned me down.
Like the music's still going, but like
and I'm
you're
screaming,
trapped.
I'm the singer. And my worst moment of crowd surfing, really, or best as you might think, is that at Glastonbury, our most famous festival in the UK, 80,000 people out there, and I jumped off this main stage and I crowd surfed over 80,000 people, and for a moment in my life, I was cool. And then I got back to the stage and realised it was too high for me to get back onto.
Oh.
And worse than that, I looked onto the camera, looked up, and there was a man there, and I was saying, "Help me, help me!" And I realised he was the cameraman.
Oh,
broadcasting
gosh.
to the nations, I said.
Oh no.
So yeah.
It goes from like the best moment ever to the worst, just like that.
Yeah, I just cemented my place as the least cool person in rock and roll.
For the music video for Cold, I love it because it plays homage to You're Beautiful, except this time instead of going into the ocean, you're coming out of it.
Yeah.
What other nuggets are in there?
Well, yeah, 14 years ago, I threw myself off that cliff in You're Beautiful, and then it exploded around the world, and yeah, it was an amazing experience. But I think I've been lost at sea for that period of time, not writing songs in the same way that I did while I was in music. And now I'm back in. I'm not in the music business anymore. I'm back in the music, and so I find my way to shore in the Cold video, and I come out and I'm wearing the trousers from the actual You're Beautiful video. And I climb the cliff and I find my ring and my keys and I actually find the coat, and they're the actual same clothes that I wore from the You're Beautiful. I've kept them in my cupboard where I live for 14 and a half years. They're on the left-hand side, and I've looked at them every day, thought it would be weird to wear those. Put on something else.
Too on the nose.
But I've found an excuse now.
Did you keep them just out of nostalgic, sentimental value, like this was the big moment, or did you always feel like there would be another moment where it would come back out?
I really just kept them for nostalgia, actually.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to throw them away.
Yeah, that makes sense. Something that's really interesting, maybe not everyone knows, you served in the British Armed Forces for several years. You were just saying before that kind of doing this music video, getting in that water, you had to do several takes in that freezing water, almost like a little resemblance of boot camp.
Yeah, you're right, exactly. It was in Wales, which is where we train in the British Army. It's really cold, as you can tell by, from my nipples in the video.
Hadn't noticed, we'll look back.
Yeah, and it was pretty hypothermic. The cameraman was saying, please can we get out of the water now? But they beasted me up a mountain to try and get the blood circulated.
How was that experience having done that military experience, and you have your pilot's license as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really grounding experience because I suppose there are lots of musicians who start young and they get into the music business and they're looked after incredibly well, whereas I started a little bit later and I realised that I'm just very lucky in the job that I am and that I don't take myself too seriously, and that people with, like doctors and nurses and teachers they're the ones we should celebrate a bit more.
Sure.
Yeah, something else people might not know about you. We've been talking about Star Wars a lot here on People Now, and you had a really close relationship with the late Carrie Fisher.
Yep,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, what do you miss most about her and your relationship?
I mean, the world is a sadder place genuinely without her. I lived with her in Los Angeles, recording most of my albums, and whenever I've been in America, in LA, that has been my home. Godmother to my child, helped me name Back to Bedlam, because her house was a mad house. I recorded Goodbye My Lover in her bathroom. And she was an incredibly, inspirational, creative human being who saw the funny side of everything, was more fragile than I think people knew, but I was very lucky to know her.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be something to see her appear again in the next Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, they're quite sad moments, actually, when having gone and seen those. I've been to a couple of Star Wars premiere and incredibly proud of her. I had an amazing moment going back to Los Angeles last time to do this album, and I was staying in a hotel because obviously I'm homeless now. I can't stay with her, and I thought, you know what, I'll drive to the house. And then I had an internal conversation. That would be weird. No, come on, I'm driving to the house. So I drove up to her gate and I put my hand, got there and put my hand on her gate, and I immediately, started crying really and said, oh God, Carrie, I miss you so much. And as I did that, 3 Star Map vans who drive the tourists to various celebrities' houses pulled up beside, and I heard the intercom or the tannoy saying, and on your left, you'll see the late, great Carrie Fisher's house, and you'll see some fans are still deeply moved by her passing.
And it was you.
And I was that fan.
What a moment.
Blab, and I think she would have enjoyed the irony.
I'm sure. Wow, what an interesting moment, because you lived there for some time, right?
Yeah,
in that home.
All that time. And it was a house that many musicians and actors and people in the film business lived in at different times. And it was a little commune in many ways.
Yeah.
Wow, some special memories.
Yeah, and moving on to something else, you also opened for Ed Sheeran during his tour. You two have worked together a decent amount.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was, traveling around North America can be chilly, and so he needed someone to keep him warm at night.
How'd you initially meet?
I was that person. We were both managed by a management firm owned by Elton John, because I think Elton John had a difficult management experience when he was younger, so he set up a management firm to look after the likes of us.
Wow, and any plans to collab again in the future? Get back.
Do you know, on my last album, I collaborated with Ed and with a few others, Ryan Tedder from One Republic. But this album actually has just been way too personal for me, and so it seemed like I wanted to just do it on my own.
So what's the next chapter for you looking for?
Yeah, well, this album is out. It is called Once Upon a Mind, and I start on a world tour on Valentine's Day throughout the UK and into Europe. That'll go down well with the wife at home.
Yeah.
And I head out, and I really do enjoy it.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Great to talk to you. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
And James Blunt's new album, Once Upon a Mind, is available now. You can check it out on his website, jamesblunt.com.
Yeah, and a transition year because we are holding a dog here. The holidays are quickly approaching, and what's more fun than including our 4-legged friends? Here to share tips on how to do just that is Kitty Block, the CEO of the Humane Society of the United States, and she has 2 very adorable and calm pups with her that are up for adoption. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So who do we have? Let's talk about it.
Okay.
These puppies, who are they?
So this is Lola. Do we get our hair done at the same place?
But her little mohawk is so cute.
I'm afraid she's a little more stylish. She's an older girl. She's about 12 years old, and she's just a beauty looking for a forever home.
Yeah, well, Mimi over here is just chilling, made her resting place my hand.
And both of us.
But yeah, and your
I get her body, and you get her face.
Fully in it, and I'm supporting. So we're here together. We're going to make it through this.
Yes, and hopefully these 2 can get adopted in time for the holidays. But people shouldn't be giving pets as holiday gifts, right?
Absolutely not. It's such an important choice when you decide to buy a pet. You want to make sure your family's ready, you're ready, that you have the time to give someone as a present. They're not waiting for it, they're not expecting it, and it doesn't work out well,
Of course,
usually.
yeah, and of course the Humane Society always promotes adopting over shopping. Why is that a priority?
Absolutely. There are so many amazing, amazing dogs like these two just needing their forever homes. And when you go to a pet store to buy them, they usually come from puppy mills, which are really horrific places for the puppies, for the breeding parents. Just don't do it.
Yeah, and is there an influx of animals being returned to shelters after the holidays?
Well, if people buy them as pets, they weren't expecting them, and then when you take the Christmas tree down, they're like, okay, we have this animal. It's not something we really wanted. People really have to be prepared for the commitment.
If people are prepared, they're in the right place for it. It can be a really fun thing, though, for the whole family, the kids, everyone to get involved and kind of bring it in what is really another member of the family, right?
Absolutely, and it should take your whole family to see the animal, meet the animals, go to your shelters, spend time with them. Foster is also a great idea, just to spend a little time with the dog to make sure he fits in your family.
Gosh, these two are just so calm. I love it
It's
so much.
ideal dogs right here, unbelievable.
There's some important tips keeping our pets safe during the holidays. For example, I didn't realize this, you shouldn't be feeding your dog turkey, correct?
No, even though they'll tell you differently, you shouldn't.
Even though your dog will beg him.
Even your dog will assure you that it's fine. It's not. I mean, there could also be a lot of bones in there. It's just avoid giving them table scraps during the time. Keep to their food, and regularly the food that they have. And then you also have to be careful about the plants you have, like poinsettias, mistletoe, other things that could be around your house during the holidays. So you have to make sure they don't get into that.
So those are dangerous for dogs.
They are. They are. Really
I feel like a lot of people don't know that.
Exactly, and it's they could be attracted to it and not know how dangerous it can be.
Are there any other foods or things around the holidays that they should avoid? Always chocolate. Get rid of that. As far as obviously the dog shouldn't eat that.
I should. So give your chocolate to me.
Give your chocolate to you.
Make sure I have all the chocolate I need.
But there is an influx of chocolate around the holidays. That's true.
There is, and your animal should not be anywhere near that.
That's a good excuse for pet owners, to just shovel it down, eat all the chocolate immediately, and then there's no problem.
Yeah, and the cold weather is here, so the Humane Society can't emphasize enough about keeping pets safe and warm. What are some tips to that?
Sure. When it's too cold outside for you, it's too cold outside for your animal. And so bring your animal in, and when you do bring your animal out, make sure they have this, look at this cool little jacket, and look at the tracksuit.
Tracksuit.
Yeah.
Stylish.
See, these are clearly comfy. I like when I see dogs in what look to be very comfy suits.
Exactly.
Sometimes you see them, it's like, okay, the owner loves it, that dog hates it. But
Yeah.
they love these.
That's right.
If you lose power during a snowstorm, let's talk about that, or maybe you have to prepare for a natural disaster. Any recommendations to help pet owners and to be more prepared?
You should always have a plan. You can lose electricity, other things can happen. Always have extra food on hand. Make sure your animal is either microchipped or that you have the collars. Know where the shelter is, and if you need to evacuate your home, find a place that you can go that will accept your animal.
Yeah.
Or if you know you're going to go to a certain hotel that's in a different area, call ahead. Make sure they know you can take your animal.
One of those things, growing up for me, I lived in a place where there's a lot of snow. And it is one of those things you prepare for the people, when the power goes out. But man, a huge snowstorm hits, get the dogs inside and get ready for the food and everything for them.
Absolutely. What we found is becomes a human safety issue because people won't leave their homes without their animals. If there's not a place for their animals, they don't want to leave their family members behind. So really the best thing you can do is plan ahead.
Yeah, some amazing tips, so thank you. Before we go, I want to point out you're the first female CEO of the Humane Society.
I am.
That's amazing. What a trailblazer there.
It's pretty exciting. And actually this month, Humane Society of the United States celebrates its 65th year. Thank God, I'm not older than that. But it's 65 years of protecting all animals and now around the world. So we're really excited.
What's your favorite part about the job?
This?
Yeah, right? Not a bad gig. And your name's Kitty. I think this was meant to be a long time ago. I don't know.
There you go.
Not your real name, though.
No, but from birth, so
you've been called
it's not a stage.
It's not a stage name.
It's not an office name. It's my name.
It's not the Humane Society
That's
office
right,
name.
that's right.
Kitty, like everyone that works there has some. Okay. Yeah. Kitty Block, thank you so much. We really appreciate you being here and bringing in these adorable pups that may just sleep here all day.
I know.
I'm really hoping they find a home soon. And guys, check out a way that you can adopt as well.
Yes, if you're interested in adopting these pups or any others that are up for adoption, visit nycacc.org. And if you want to learn more about the Humane Society's amazing work, visit humanesociety.org.
All right, coming up next week, we are joined live by the king of paternity tests, Maury Povich.
Plus, we are talking with Cardi B about Thanksgiving and all of her holiday plans. Thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from Gaten Matarazzo. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Hi, I'm Gaten Matarazzo, and this is One Last Thing. The last celeb I texted was Skylar Aston. I just did Into the Woods with him over the summer and became very close. He's a very, very good friend of mine. The last time I pranked someone was recently, like last week at school. I drive my brother home from school every day because I have my license and he doesn't. And I started to pull out of the parking spot as soon as he started to get to the car, and I just kept driving. It took me like 10 minutes to get back there, and he was waiting on the curb. It was very funny. The last dream I remember is my cat hating me. The one cat I'm talking about, his name is Jet. He like loves every human, but in this dream he hated me, and I cried a lot. It felt like I was never gonna be happy again. And then I woke up in tears, and I was like, oh, it's a dream, cool.